You know, I really like this video camera when it used to do a countdown. It doesn't do a countdown anymore. You just kind of click a button and hope the thing's on. It's on. Today is, let's see, October 23rd, 2019. For all of you that can't believe it, believe it. I remember years ago thinking about, wow, the year 2000. This was when I was like 8 years old. Well, year 2000 is come and gone. We've got some interesting things to talk to you about today. I've got another video I did on Facebook on my Cut the Cloth. I did it on Coffee with the Rev as a live broadcast about remembering your dreams of your youth. The newsletter today is about remember your dreams, remember your aspirations, remember the goals that you had. Well, this little talk that I'm putting with my newsletter today, I'm going to talk about discover your uniqueness. And everybody has some unique attribute that no one else has to their extent. I'm not saying no one else has it to their extent. Everybody has something special about them. I talk about remembering your childhood dreams, goals, fantasies. You know, when you're a little kid, you want to be a lot of stuff. You want to be an astronaut. You want to be a fireman. You want to be a doctor. You want to be a lawyer. You want to be a garbage man. No, I'm not kidding. Because they get to mess around with great big trucks. I want to be a construction worker because I'm outside and I get to do a lot of stuff. Some of the girls have different aspirations. I want to be an artist. I want to be a great singer. I want to be a pop star. See, those dreams are great. It's what is in your heart as a little kid, and you're just free to think about anything and everything you want to because you can. As life progresses, even in early childhood, you have other kids putting you down for your dreams. And so you start not talking about your dreams. Then you become a teenager. Oh man, it's really bad as a teenager because other kids that don't have the dreams and aspirations you do will put you down for having those dreams and aspirations. So you squish in further. And then perhaps you go to college or a trade school and people think, you know, you got some weird ideas, man. Sister, what are you thinking? And so you start thinking, man, what am I thinking? And then by the time you hit your mid-20s, you're like, well, I guess I just need to get a job and work a job. In one of the books I'm reading, Hustle, one of the writers talks about a childhood friend. He said, man, she was gifted as an artist, even in kindergarten. Her concept of color and space and the size of things in relation to other things. Now, they weren't perfect. I mean, they were kindergarten. But when her parents would come, they could look on that wall of beautiful, unique drawings and they could pick out their child's before they got close enough to the wall to find out whose name was put on it. Because she had a sense of artistic design. We're all born with different gifts. Baloney on people say everything's developed. No. You are born with some things that are innate inside of you. Whether you develop that or not is entirely up to you. Now, as she got older, she was noticed for, you know, things that she did in school. She won some art contests in school. But then after she got out of college and in college, she didn't want to do anything to promote herself. For instance, her parents said, well, hey, why don't you take your drawings and stuff that you've done and go down to the local coffee shop and have them put up a display for you, and you can stay down there and answer questions and sell some of your art and stuff. She said, oh, that's so lame. I don't want to do that. And their parents and her friends, people would come up with, why don't you put on an exhibition at the art gallery here in town, and you could be exposed to, hundreds and hundreds of people. And she said, oh, that's just self-promotion. I don't want to do that. So what is she doing now in her 40s? She's working temporary clerical jobs. Work a few months here, don't have a job. Work a few months there, don't have a job. She has not pursued that innate talent for which she won awards through school, and even the local post office wanted to do a mural where they live of a trout, because that was a big thing up there, with a unique theme. And so she drew the 7-foot trout, and on the trout she had a fisherman with his rod and reel, and it got acclaim in the newspapers and everything. Oh, that was so nice. But you can't make money at that. She's just full of excuses why she can't do stuff. Does it remind you of anybody or anything you've said? Keep watching. I know it probably is irritating. It's true though. Did you know that this is not me? This is for the people that does these statistics. 98%, 98 people out of 100 fail to achieve hardly any of their dreams or goals or ambitions or desires in life. And they die with all of that ability, all of those dreams still in them. That's pretty sad. I heard Teresa Foy say that she heard a major speaker talking one time, and he was really excited. He says, you know what? I'm going to tell y'all where you can find the most money, the greatest gifts, the most astounding place on earth, full of dreams and ambitions and marvelous ideas. And the audience got really quiet. He said, do you want to know where it's at? And the audience is like, well, yes. He said, the graveyard. The graveyard is full of people that had ideas, dreams, ambitions. They lived through their life never pursuing them, never developing themselves, and then they die. Man, don't let that happen to you. Pursue whatever it is in your heart that you want to do, and do it. My son, of course, he's pretty cool. My son has an interest in alcoholic beverages, brandies and whiskeys and all that stuff. I don't know a lot about them, but he has a very, very good knowledge of them. He's very thorough because he does a lot of research. I said, man, why don't you take and start a blog or a newsletter about spirits and whiskeys and all these brandies and rums and stuff, and stouts and lagers and whatever else there are, because I don't really know anything about them, because I don't drink, so I don't know. And he said, well, I guess I could. I know he could. Super intelligent. He is very well spoken. He could take and start a blog like that, and he could actually make a substantial amount of money in the neighborhood of several $100,000 a year by starting a blog and a newsletter on whiskeys and other alcoholic beverages. I want to ask him when I see him here, in a month or so down in Florida and see if he's actually started on that. He's very knowledgeable and he knows what he's talking about. So I was looking at what I wanted to write down here, and I thought about, well, I told my readers today to think about your dreams. Think about all those things that you imagined and you fantasized about, all that stuff you wanted to do when you were young. And then look at yourself now, however old you are, and assess, where are you in relation to those dreams? Not going to say anything else. Some of you may have heard of the, I wrote this down, the 10,000 hour rule. Now listen to what I'm saying. So, Malcolm Gladwell said, if you do anything for 10,000 hours, you'll be an expert at it. That sounds logical, doesn't it? If you do anything for 10,000 hours, you'll be an expert at it. Or if you listen to courses and audios and read books and participate in events, whatever, but 10,000 hours worth of work. Well, it's true and it's not true. Think about this. We all know why Michael Jordan was the success he was, because he practiced. However, the old axiom that says practice makes perfect, it's not true. If you're practicing on your golf swing and you're hitting it into the woods every time, I don't care if you practice 20,000 hours, it's going to go into the woods every time. You have to improve what you're doing. Perfect practice makes perfect. That's what Michael Jordan said in an interview. He said, I practiced all the time, before school, after school, every chance he got. But he said what I did is those things I was doing incorrectly, I modified to the correct way to do them, and then practiced that. And then found something else that wasn't exactly right. I found the right way to do it, and I practiced doing that. Perfect practice makes perfect. So think about where you're at and what you're doing. Do you like that job as managing that office? Do you enjoy being a production worker on a line of products? Do you like being a clerk in a store? Do you like washing cars? Man, I hate that he quit. I had this guy. He would come to my house and wash my car. Man, he was Van Gogh on cars. He was good. I couldn't pay him enough. I mean, I realized you've got to make money, and you can only pay so much money. I realized that, but he was fantastic. He was an artist, but he wanted to get a real job. So he finally went to work somewhere, making, I don't know, $16 an hour, because it was a real job. I kept telling him for the years that he did my car, I says, I'll set you up in a car maintenance business. I'll set you up. I'll take care of the facility. I'll pay for the products. All you have to do is teach other people how to do what you do, and we'll start an entire business based upon your skills. And he was like, oh, well, yeah, maybe sometime I could talk to you about that. Well, instead of making $16 an hour, and I know some of you have already calculated that out, that's about $640 a week, a little over $30,000 a year. Instead of him making that little bit of money, by this time, which has been about, I don't know, 3 or 4 years, 4 years, about 5, 6 years, I guess, since he started working with me, and I offered him to set him up in business. He would be making clear after he paid, or I paid, all the employees and everything, he would be making around $150,000 to $200,000 a year. But he wanted a real job. Great guy. Love him. But wrong choice. He's not going where his skills are. He's doing some job that somebody says, I'll give you $16 an hour to do this job. Okay. I'll give you health benefits and I'll do this. Okay. Why is that? Why do people settle for less? Too many people are afraid to step out to do anything. That's true. The socialists and the Democrats that are socialists, are so afraid and fearful of not having enough that they want to make everybody not have enough. Because in every communist and socialistic country, when they say everybody's equal, they're all equally poor except for the elite that rules everything. That's a fact. Look it up. Look it up. I'm not telling you anything that I don't know. I've been to other countries. I'm just telling you. We are in the greatest country on earth that earth has ever seen in our recorded history. And I'm telling you, are we perfect? Nope. We got a lot of things that we need to work on. However, working on things means for everybody to get together, and compromises need to be made. You don't need to have everybody this way or that way. Meet in the middle on common ground. What's good and workable for most people? Look, that's my political thing for today. Sorry, I got started on that. I want to touch on this. Think about this. Have you ever met anybody that have what we call a 10 ear? In other words, you can't really hear the different notes in music. They love music. They would love to sing or play music. But physically, they are incapable of doing that very well because of their handicap. Beethoven was deaf. And yet, he's a very, very great composer. They said he had a piano that he put, I think it was a piano, that he put on the ground, and he would put his ear on top of it, and he'd hit the notes and feel the vibrations, and that was how he wrote music. Incredible. Incredible. However, if you don't have a talent or the physical capability to do something, what do you have the talent or physical capability to do? And all these things I've been telling you about, sitting down, sitting by yourself, the steps I give you to write out things that you want to do, can do, have done, want to have done, you need to do that. So, you have to discover what your gifts and talents are, whatever they are. They can be, maybe you're a good speaker. Speak. Find places to speak. Find a topic that you're passionate about. Talk. Maybe you're a good manager. Well, most managers, any kind of significant management job, you do have to have training, whether it's a college education or it's a management school or whatever it is. You do need the skills for management. You may have the aptitude, but you also need the skills developed to manage. Work on it. Maybe you're into sports and you are a super fantastic ball player. You practice before school and you practice after school, and You work all the time to be the best so you can get on the varsity team. Well, are you practicing correctly? Are you practicing all of the aspects of baseball? You know, catching a grounder, catching a fly, throwing the ball. I played center field, and I could throw from the center field fence to the catcher on target. I was the only one that could do that. I don't know why I could do that. I just could. So they put me in center field. That's where they said I belonged. So that's where they stuck me. It was fun. I didn't pursue a baseball career, but I loved playing baseball, and I played and practiced all the time. 6 days a week and sometimes 7. Man, I was practicing my throwing, practicing my catching, practicing my hitting. I lived and breathed baseball up until I was about 16 years old. I just loved baseball, and I was really good at it. So whenever we were doing a pickup game, I was one of the first ones to go because they wanted to be on their team. They always placed me in cleanup because inevitably I usually hit homers. Why did I hit so many homers? Because in my backyard I practiced every day for hours hitting the baseball over a giant mulberry tree in our backyard. My goal wasn't just to hit it long. I wanted to hit it high and long. I didn't want anybody catching it. So that was what I practiced on. So when you think about what you're doing, where you're at in life, sit back with a cup of a step above coffee. That's what you need to get. And sit down, get you a notepad, make some notes, write down things that you want to do, and then take action on them. Well, that's it for this week. This is Rev, the internet pastor, saying, man, girl, go out there and do the things you have desired to do, that you've wanted to do, and don't tell your dreams to anyone that's going to put you down or be jealous or envious of you, and pray for you to fail. Oh yeah, Christians, there are some of you that are jealous of people that you know, and you pray for them to fail. I don't get that. But as a Christian, I feel I want everybody to succeed. If they do better than me, more power to them. Thank God that they're using their talent. Anyhow, see you next time.